One of the problems I have is when I'm trying to open my motorcycle, when I get to work, I go in the trunk. Right now you can see most of what's in there, but can you imagine when it's dark out? I didn't realize how much light you don't have in here, especially with my suitcase being black and my phone is black. So I actually went here this morning and didn't see my phone. I left it in here because it's so dark in here. I'll show you. I purchased the genuine Honda sub harness for the trunk, as well as the genuine Honda trunk light. Among the other tools you'll need is a JIS screwdriver. These are not, they look like Phillips heads, but they're not. And you need an angled pick for pulling out the plastic rivets inside the trunk. So, after you place your motorcycle on a kickstand, you'll need to open up these panels so you can take the seat off. So you open up this panel, side panel, push of a button, and this is already open. You come around to this side, you open up this panel. So you start by removing these side panels on both sides so you can get to the seat bolts. Then you have to let down the rear foot pegs, passenger foot pegs on both sides. To open these up, first start by, when you let those down, pull at the bottom and back of this, pop them out. Pull at the front edge of this, it should pop right up. Work that out. Difficult. Comes right off. Seat bolts are right between here. You look down in there, you'll be able to see the seat bolt on both sides. I remove the seat bolt on the left side and for the right side. Thrust your wrench in there, twist. Carefully move it back out. Make sure you don't drop it. There, that bolt's free. So now, we're going to remove the seat. To remove the seat, all I got to do is grab it from both of the front edges like such, and lift up on it. Normally you should put some tape there to protect the edges. You have to remember, move it forward. And keep in mind that you have to disconnect the electrical connector on this side of the bike. This is the close-up of the electrical connector for the seat warmer that you have to disconnect from the bike when you pull the seat off. There. Move the seat all the way forward. Comes away. Now is a good time to disconnect the negative terminal or your battery, because you will be working with electrical components. Don't want any sparks or shortages. Just let it down so where you can see it. And there. Simple as that. Now you have to remove the left and the right passenger grab rail. This is a 12 millimeter 12 millimeter bolt. Remove the left and right side. Keep in mind these have washers on them. Do not just misplace the washers. There. Put a long bolt. But there's two on each side. Set these aside. Keep in mind, The left grab rail has the helmet lock going through it. So don't try to take it too far away from where you took it off. Just lay it there for now. Now if you have them installed, you got to remove the left and right passenger armrest. There's two bolts on this bracket in here. You just release these nuts, these 5mm Allen wrench. That will slide right out. Be careful, there's a little cam nuts, little connector inside there. Just leave them there for now. You don't need those, but make sure they stay in there. That's what those bolts screw into. So you do that for both sides. Now we're going to remove the trunk lid. Now if you didn't notice, some of these, I already have some options installed in here to this wiring harness. So you see more wires than you probably used to seeing. But all you do is take a pair of pliers, squeeze this together, and pull that free of this connector here. And then we're going to remove these GIS screws from here to get the top off. Take your GIS screwdriver I talked about before. You get up in here. And what we just done is remove the screws for your backrest. So now I got to do is come in here and pull this up. The backrest free. Wiggle it out. There's two more screws you have to remove up in the upper part here. And this seat should be free to pull out. But be careful, you got wires attached to it, like I do. Ease it up, and here it is. And what you're looking for, there's a connector right in here that connects to this seat, this wiring harness. All you do is hit the little pin. There, it's free. This is wiring harness we're concerned with, and we'll get around to that in a minute. We're supposed to remove this wiring harness. You see it running up through there. At this point, we're supposed to remove this trunk lid so we can work on it. But because I have all these other wires to my other lights already in there and in place, I don't want to cut those off to fix it. So what I'm going to do is do it while it's still installed on the motorcycle. And I'll just remove the inner trunk lid. So now we're going to remove the inner lid cover and the attachment screws. There's screws on here, on the sides, and all around here that you have to remove. Start on the left. Take off these anchor hooks. Just keep in mind the orientation of these anchor hooks. You'll see what I mean when you take them out. You pull these hooks, see how the angle goes backwards. Keep that in mind when you put those back up in there. Looks like we're gonna have to take this thing at least partially off. There's 3 more screws here that attaches this to the top. What I'm gonna do is take these off and lay this on something that won't scratch it. So I'll do that in just a minute. As I mentioned before, move these 3 bolts on both sides. And the silver bolts, and they too are 5mm Allen head wrenches. Again, once I take these off, I'm going to lay the unit down there instead of taking it completely off the vehicle. So I'm gonna have to rewire my lights to accommodate this setup. Support this back, in this case. I'll take the screws out, it's gonna try to flop. Can't let that happen. I'm gonna scratch up the paint. Again, it would be easier if you can have the lights installed for you. Just take the back off, this off, because I don't want to mess with those wires again. I'm gonna do it this way. Good grip on this. And lay this down. Again, something to pat it. So we need, we're going to take this thing apart like this. See, it's easy to do once you have it off. It's going to come off with a snap. Don't worry, you didn't break it. This is the part we're going to be working on. Depending on which model you have, some of you have the accessory bag up in the front. I have the one with the airbag. So my USB cable is back here. It's normally attached here. I just disconnected from this location. And you're going to remove these two screws on the left and right side of it. See, this pulls out. You just set this aside somewhere. Now what we're going to do is remove the right panel, right side panel over here. These plastic rivet along the floor, as well as the screws that line the top. There's also a screw on the top of this. There's also some screws that goes up to the front here that we're going to remove. So we remove those panels up there in front. I'll take those loose while I'm back here. There's a screw right here that goes into the paint surfaces. So there's all the top screws you have to release. The rest of these are made into the snaps. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Move these screws along the side. These are screws I'm talking about right here. On the upper edge. There's a total of 3 of these on the top and side. And now you're going to take your pick and remove these plastic rivet. Press in 1, 2, 3. What you do is grab your fingernails, pull it out. Fingernails, pull it out. That should be the whole left side and the right side. Should be free. So now we're going to take the front right side cover off. You start from the back, just pull out like this, look forward, and just got to clear the back end. Don't forget to take the little cover panel here off. This was on the other side of those screws we took out. And this whole thing We'll come forward now, like such. Again, somewhere it won't get scratched. With a clean terry cloth and alcohol, we clean these plastic surfaces in here all the way down. You're going to run this wire and attach it with adhesive. So just clean off everything around up in here. Along the rock, you can come up through this way, along to the deck up here. Just clean off real good. Make sure adhesive sticks. Before you move further in putting the harness on, I suggest you go ahead and cut this preform spot out of the way for you. So your light should use a pair of snips. It's a little difficult. Turn it over. It's easy to get to from this side. There we go. Just cutting it out. Straight against the edge. Tip. Such. So you do. Then make sure you get all the edges off. This out. That's where the light's going to install. That's all we have is here. See it? You take your cleaning alcohol, rub off in these areas. You're going to run this wire. You're going to take one end down here, down. You take the other end up here as it goes through. So you unwrap the wire. Place it in place, designated spot. Each one of them comes with a color. Put them in there like such. Both ends for the collars. Then you place the screw, the washer in there like such. And both sides. What you're gonna do now, screw these down, screw down, both sides. Nice and secure. We're screwing into plastic so you don't want to over torque them. And we're going to do, after we clean off those surfaces, we use these cushions to take this in place. When the wire along here, take the other end up here. So what we're going to do, we remove the backing from the adhesive off this cover thing. It's going to keep it down. Put it straight. Again, pull straight, keep right there, that location. This is going to connect to the other piece there when we get it back together. Again, pull it straight, as you get it, flat as you can get it. how it's gonna look. Put them back together, that'll be out of the way. That will hook up to the other adapter and get it on. Instructions want you to place the mark 150 millimeters from this edge going towards the boot of the harness, that end. So 150 millimeters is just under 6 inches. So you put the marker there. See, it's right up under 6. I don't know why that glue is there, but that's gonna be where I go. Now before we put this together, I'm gonna route this like they're trying to recommend. This is actually the right side of the connector over here, so it's going this way. So what I'm doing is hooking this up first. Don't have to be this way, just the way I'm doing it. Like such. Looks like the same made for other accessories. And this way, this piece of tape was my marker. It's supposed to be at the top of this input here. So I'm going to tape this down here. This is going to go this way like such. Remember the seat goes over this. So you keep this as flat as you can get it. Take that in place. Make that turn. Take this portion right here. Keep the tape a little high. So we just keep it turn and bend with this. And when you make this turn, the cushion will be there with it. There's actually a groove cut out over here in this plastic. Make sure there's wire going down in it. Take it down. There. This should give you enough room to get everything in on here and down through here. And we're going to tape it to the rest of the vehicle. Attach it. I just laid the inner lid up here on the back of the bike for them. I'm going to run these wires. I'm going to attach this, then I can finish up the install down below. This little harness comes with tabs on it that are made to fit in this top hook right here. All you do is plug that in. And there's another one here that plugs into, there's a hole on the bottom of this frame of this bracket. Plug it in. There you go. And this is going to go around this speaker and come out the other end down here. And we can attach it in here. So there's going to be some tape they got, the cushion. We'll be able to tape this back behind the speaker so it'll be routed like this. It'll be out of the way of the other items that's coming in here later. Yep. So they have enough room there. And I'll put that thing back on. They have enough room to wiggle. And I'll put this back on together. So we're ready to put this back on. Carefully put this back up here. I'm going to start trying to put this back together and send this on here ever so gently. Make sure the wires over here are going back through the groove that I was cut for it. Down, like such, coming together. It's going to be kind of short. Make sure your back end goes in back here. A little bit of struggle because of Move that wires. There, the back's back on. One last place we have to secure this harness is around the back side of the speaker. All I do is run it around through there. You have the shape of the speaker, follow the contours. Make sure it comes out the other side. Take this down. That's the last of that. Harness is in place. All we gotta do is hook it up. There's a boot under here that's easy to get to. But let me tell you, it's not easy to get to. Even when I found it, you have to dig this thing out because it has another wire coming out of it. There's supposed to be some other pre-installed accessories that ran this way that kept you from pulling this all the way out. If you peel this back, you can see the white connector they're talking about. That's it in there. So it can be fun trying to reach in there and plug something into it, but we'll see how that works. That's where the boot comes out. On this, there's a little tab behind here. You have to lift it up and it comes off. Save this for the future. On your connector, all you gotta do is line that up. Snap it on. There it's in place. Pull the rubber boot back up in place. So you shove that back down in there. It was well hidden. There we go. So it's all back in place. You can't tell anything there. That's good. So that's done. All we gotta do is put the bike back together and test it. Once you put these two back together, remember to slide the back in first. Make a better fit. And then you replace screws into the liner all the way around here as we took them out. Remember, as you put these hooks back on, you need to orient the hooks. Then you're ready to install the hooks back in. Remember, the curvature of these hooks face rearward. So you want to place it in here, up back in the cushion, the foam you have up in there. If you do it all the way up in place, you'll see where it goes. And reinsert the screws. Now you're going to reinstall the right cover. Remember, you got to take it around through here, go around these speakers down here, and they're going to fit right up under that speaker. And get those grooves. Pull the cord back, get it past there, check for clearance. Make sure this opening is going over that hole. When you get it in place, just right here, you're checking for. Make sure the wires are inside. A little organization there. Just go bring it back, put it right back in place. Looks like a snap piece together. There, see? Fits nicely. Your centerpiece is going to come over here when you do it. So you leave this open, make sure that fits snugly. Not binding in the wires. Not binding here. And you go back and put the screws in back to the side here. Don't forget to reinstall the plastic rivets in the bottom floor here. To reuse these, just press down. There, like this. But this tip comes up above. And then when you put them in, just press down on the head and it locks in place. Here's a close-up of what I'm doing in here. I can just put it in the hole. Press down, sure it lines up. Once you get it in place, just where the collar goes down flush, press, and it's locked in place. Do the same thing for these other two. Okay, when you got all that back together again, just reversing what you've done, now you have to just reinstall the seat. And I used to, like I said, put a piece of tape on these ends to keep these in from scratching the paint. But after you get used to it, you kind of know what to do to not scratch the paint. So anyway, make sure you got it lined up where I had it backwards a minute ago. Two things to remember is your electrical cord here has come down to the right side of the bike and in between these panels. The panel right above in front of the saddlebags. So just slide these hooks here underneath the hooks in the back. Make sure you don't put the front end down yet. You can feel it going, engaging the hooks. Slide it back a little bit to where it's cleared in the front end. And it drop down in place basically. And then before you knock it in, make sure this electrical connection over here. We're going back outside the frame and behind this panel. Here's a picture of the electrical connection that I'm dealing with now. Make sure this is connected for your heated seats to work. You'll be able to easily snap it back in. One thing I learned, either with the elbow or your forearm, push the seat all the way back like that. And the bolts will automatically line up. Push it down, and you'll be ready to put your bolt in. I can almost guarantee this bolt will go straight in without a problem. See, drop down, it's already threaded. That's the secret. Put the seat down, drop it in the hooks, give it a good forehand or an elbow backwards, and it goes in place. There you go. All we're going to do is put the side panel back on now. After we make sure we connect the electrical connector for the heated seat. It's a simple, line it up. You can't see that from the side, but you'll see it. And it's just snaps back in place. There. It's in. So the way to do that, okay, once you've put your negative terminal back on your battery, you're ready to put this thing back together again. So make sure you got your seat on good, your bolts in place up there, and then to put this on, all you got to do is line this up here, start lining it up towards the back, and the first thing you need to do actually is put the front edge under the seat like such, and then you move the back part into the slots that's in this back panel. You see the slot in the back of this. Push forward, push in, then make sure you push these rubber grommets in place. Snap it right back in place. There you have it. That panel's back on, and you're ready to close this panel, this side saddlebag, and everything's good to go. That's good. Now you're ready to enjoy your installation. Okay, the end result, the bike's all back together. I reach up under here, open it up, voila, there's light coming from above. And we'll show you that same approach in the dark. It's dark in the driveway, garage. A little bit darker than it would be at work. Press the button, and look at there. A lot of light coming from there. I can see the amount of black items in here, you'll see in there, much more comforting than losing stuff and having to go looking for it later when it's light. That's great. Moment of truth. It's dark in the garage. I've packed for my trip to work. Trunk's open, and I can see everything inside. Except suitcase, my other bag, and even my other phone, which is black. I can actually see it in there now. And it shines quite a bit of light on the outside too. Mission complete. Very successful.